Hey, welcome back to Enigmatica 2, where in the last video, we set up this whole cooking system to try and get this super high tier food in the delighted meals, and we set up a fully upgraded culinary generator to more or less solve our power problems for the time being. Since last time, I have changed a few things, like I've added some more counters here so I can get some more cows in jars so that milk is a bit easier, and on top of that, I've found out that you can basically 8 times your milk production by just making fresh milk. And you can do the same with water, and water can turn itself into even more water, so water is actually really easy to get. I just didn't know about that at the time. And then some small corrections from last time. I actually couldn't make the delighted meals out of tofurkey. I had to make tofake, so I needed to get a few more things to be able to do that. Most notably mushrooms and peppercorns. But now, as you can see, I can make a ton of delighted meals, because I can actually make tofake now. So anyway, on to the main part of this video. Because I've got power solved, now I need to work towards how I'm going to fuel it. And I said last time that I was going to work for small spingots. That's going to take NuclearCraft stuff, and to unlock NuclearCraft, I'm going to have to do IC2. So the plan for this video then is to just get as much of IC2 done as I can. I'm not exactly sure how far I need to go. Not sure what the gate is for NuclearCraft. I guess we can find out. First things first, I need a basic machine casing. And it looks like the only way for me to do it right now is with iron large plates. So I just need to smelt up some iron. While I'm at it, I'll get the aluminium plates. And then casting the iron plates is gonna take quite a while. Guess I can look ahead and try and see what needs doing. So obviously one of the first things I'm going to need is rubber. It looks like a jetpack is quite close to the start. I'm not entirely sure how necessary that is. That box and tin cables, just means of power storage and transfer. I'm not too sure if I will use IC2 cables, or if I just use mechanisms so I don't have to worry about voltages and things. I'm not sure. We'll see soon enough. But the plates are done, so there's the basic machine casings, and I'll take more overclocker upgrades. Okay, so what does this tell me about IC2? I need to craft an advanced machine casing to get into Industrial 4 going. That might be quite far down the line. We'll see. And yeah, I can skip IC2 generators by just using mechanism. And I think I will, because IC2 generators are quite annoying. So to go all the way to an advanced machine casing, I need a macerator, a blast furnace, and advanced alloy. And that's all going to take a few things, but it shouldn't be that bad. We'll see. Also, loot chest, obsidian TNT. So I think I can probably go to the advanced machine casing in this video, but what do I need for NuclearCraft? I need a manufactory, and most of this I can probably do. Mixed metal ingot, I can get that fine, it's just a bunch of plates. Copper item casing as well. I could technically go straight to a manufactory now, but I want to be able to unlock Industrial 4 going as well, because I'm going to need farming stuff. So then I'm going to try and do possibly everything I need from IC2 now, starting with rubber, because that's what I need to start getting into basically any machine. So I'm going to need a tree tap to get sticky resin, which, yeah, I just smelt to get rubber. And tree taps are pretty simple. And then I can just come over here to my rubber trees and just grab all the sticky resin. And I could probably cut these down and just plant a ton of them. But all that's going to take a little while to grow. So until then, I'll just find a bunch of other naturally spawning rubber trees. Just until my tree tap breaks. And then I can smelt all of that sticky resin to get a bunch of rubber. Annoyingly, it's 1-to-1, and I'm going to need quite a lot of rubber. But eventually the rest of those trees should grow, and that'll give me a bunch more. But anyway, I'll collect some rubber just to finish the quest. And what's in the loot chest? A sacred oak sapling. Okay. And then next I need to make a generator. And I wonder which is cheaper. Do I spend one of my machine casings just yet? Or is it easy to get an iron furnace? It's probably easier to get an iron furnace. Do need another furnace though, but it's just stone. And then I'm going to need a bunch of iron plates. What do I need for a battery? I need insulated tin cable that I can... yeah, I can do that. And then tin item casings, I can also do that. I just need a bunch of iron and tin plates, and some of the tin plates go through twice. And I can make the iron furnace. I can make some cutters to then get the tin cables and turn it into proper tin cables, the insulated tin cables, and then into the battery. And then with 3 more iron plates, because I miscalculated, I can make the generator. And that gives me a loot chest. Spawner seeker. Could be useful, but also probably not. Alright, so now I can make the macerator, and possibly then start working down towards some of the other machines. An electric furnace would be quite nice. I don't really need to worry about IC2 generators, but it might be worth eventually getting a solar panel. So yeah, I think I'm just going to go down the machines now. Next up, I need a macerator. And all I'm really missing is a circuit board. And yeah, macerator. That gives me a loot chest. Cow in a jar. Don't really need any more. Then apparently with a macerator I can get the blast furnace. Ah, this is just the IC2 way of getting steel. I'm gonna need to make one for the sake of triggering the quest, but I'm not really gonna use it, because immersive and mechanism are quite a lot better. But I'll worry about that in a bit. I think I'm gonna start making more machines first. And I think I just want to go down to the electric furnace. So next up, I need the extractor. That needs 4 tree taps. I can do that. And some more circuit boards. I can pre-make a bunch more than I need. And then that's the extractor. Gives me another loot chest. A fire mill. 10 of them. Okay. If I need more grid power, I have something. Then next is the compressor. And that one I can already do. So there's one more loot chest. Blueberry pancakes. More food. Don't really need it anymore. Then the last one, just because I want to, the electric furnace. I'm going to need to get myself a bit more stone, so I can get another furnace, and turn it into an iron furnace, and then into the electric furnace. There's one more loot chest. Block of emerald. Okay, that should be all of the machines that I'll strictly need. Now I need a spot to put them, but this area is getting quite cramped. So I think it's time I expanded it. And I do have an idea for something to do. And I'm gonna need a lot of bricks. And I'm probably gonna need to smelt some more. So the basic plan is to just remake this building over here and mirror it so that the 2 windows are facing each other. I think that could be an interesting shape, and it'll make a much bigger building on the inside. Ooh, how much spare basalt do I have? Plenty. I'll get 3 stacks of it. And hopefully that should suffice. So how big is this area? It's 10 by 9. Wait, how is it 10 by 9? No, it's 11 by 9. I miscounted. So then I'm going to need another 11 blocks coming out this way. And I'll just make it as wide as this building is. And I'm just going to cover over the mills because it's not like they need sunlight or anything. They might make a bit of noise, but that's fine. And then I guess I'm just going to extend all the walls over. I'm going to need to study this kind of shape to make sure I can replicate it. Just looking at this kind of shape and extrapolating it over, there's really not going to be that much space here between the 2 windows. Just ignore that there's no roof on it for now. That's the amount of space I'm going to be working with here. So then I guess I can do the next best thing. Instead of doing this 1-to-1 right next to each other, I can just kind of expand this middle bit out a bit, but I don't have enough bricks for that. Thankfully, I've been smelting up a ton more of them. This should hopefully be enough. I'm just going to push this back another 4 blocks. Yeah, that's pretty much double the amount of space I have to work with, and should hopefully look a lot nicer. Okay, that should be all the bricklaying. Now to put the roof in. So, just copying the roof over 1-to-1, I get something like this. It's a bit hard to see because the peppercorn tree's in the way. I can add some more things to it like that to cover some of the gaps and to make it look a bit more complete. And then on the inside, still need to put the glass in, but kind of looks the same. It definitely feels a lot bigger in here now. And if I light it up, it actually feels like a building. So at some point I'm going to have to come around and put in the stair detailing, but I think I'm just going to leave it like this for the time being so I can move on. There is one other thing, which is this. The gap between the walls and the floor. I could probably extend the grass out. It'd be quite a bit of terraforming to get it to match up, but I could do that. I'll just see how this looks. Okay, how's this? I've terraformed it quite a bit. I can probably iron out some of this a bit better, but I'd say I'm relatively satisfied with that terraforming for now. Then of course I've got to bring the pathway over. I would like to see it go down another level, but I think this is fine. And I think sometime in the future I'm going to be tuning up this path a bit to fit with other plans, so I think I'll leave that. I am just quickly going to put in the windows here, just to finish that off. Then we're going to need to put some torches around the outside of the building, and I think it's done. I think that should suffice for an extension of this industrial area. So now, on the inside here, I'm going to have to move some things around. It shouldn't really matter where I put a lot of this stuff for now. I think for now, I'm going to put all of the IC2 stuff just down at the back wall. And I'm going to have to do a bit of work to try and connect all of these things back up. Because I want to retain some of the immersive engineering power. But for all of this, yeah, I'm just going to get mechanism cables. I don't need terribly good ones. Ooh, hang on a minute. I need electrical steel. I do have some from raiding villages, but if I'm going to need more of these, that's not going to suffice. Normally this is done in the alloy smelter. I can use a NuclearCraft alloy furnace. I can't alloy it in the smeltery though. I think the arc furnace is probably the most readily available for me right now, but the arc furnace is its own beast. I'm going to get the alloy furnace when I get onto NuclearCraft anyway, so that should solve this eventually. The other question is silicon, and I can make that in the manufactory with sand. So once I get onto NuclearCraft, that should solve itself. But for now, I have enough to make some cables to get going. The other thing is this redstone iron wiring? Oh, basic coils. That's probably not happening for a while. I've got to do forestry and actual additions for that. I can get the wireless RF heating coils, but basic coils is a while away. So maybe I'm not going to be able to do this with mechanism cables. So then I guess I'm using this generator for now. I'm going to assume power tier 1 means LV. I don't know which cable counts as LV. Maybe copper? Or is this old enough of a mod that it doesn't really care about voltage, and I can just connect everything with glass fiber cables? Yeah, but those are quite far off too. Maybe not. I'm just gonna do copper. That's probably the safest bet here. So I'll just make 8 of the cables, insulate them all, and do they connect on top? Yes. And I'm pretty sure the generator just takes any fuel source. Yeah. And it seems to be working through and powering all of these machines. Not too quickly, but they're all full now. So then I can start using these to make the other 2 things I need for the advanced machine casing. So first I'll get the blast furnace. I need 1 blast furnace, which doesn't seem too bad. I can make a heat conductor pretty easily, and the iron item casings are also quite easy. Then I'll also need an electric heater, which needs some pretty similar things. And then last, a universal fluid cell, probably to just move things around. But with that, it should complete the quest. And loot chest, cave illuminator, sure. And leave only the advanced alloy left to be able to make the advanced machine casing. And this really shouldn't be that bad. I'm just going to need a lot of mixed metal ingots. So just a lot of iron, bronze, and tin. So I'll just press up a bunch of that, and turn it into a bunch of mixed metal ingot, and put it in the compressor, and it will slowly make the advanced alloy, and complete that quest. So there's a loot chest, lava wood. Right, this is way too slow. That's why I've got some of these overclocker upgrades. I'm not going to put too many in, because they can ramp up pretty quickly, but I seem to be able to support 4 of them. About a 5th? No, not a 5th. 4 is as much as I can manage. But it is 4 times speed, so can't really complain. I can probably do 4 in most of these. Right, so now I can go all the way to the advanced machine casing. What does this need? Need some carbon plates. So that's just a lot of pulverized coal. I think I'll do a stack. Turn that much into carbon plates. While I'm here, I also need 16 steel plates. You know what? I'm curious. No, it doesn't work. It was worth a shot. But with the carbon plates on the way, I have the advanced alloy, I have the steel. I just need more basic machine casings. I don't have the iron to get more large plates. So what about some of these other ones? Dense iron plates? Oh no, that's way expensive. Dense tin plates? It's the same, but I think I've got more tin. I think I barely don't. Actually, I have a macerator now, so I can double it. That should get me enough. In the meantime, I can probably get the carbon meshes going. It's a bit too much of a strain on my power, but I should have enough tin now. But that needs to go in a compactor? No, compressor. But it's got to be plates. I can do that. There we go. So then I just need a little bit more aluminium, and I can make the basic machine casing, and then turn all of them into advanced. That'll complete the quest. Give me a loot chest. Transformer upgrade. I'm not sure how that works, but I'm only generating LV power, so I probably shouldn't mess with that. But anyway, that might be all of IC2 that I need to touch. Because then for industrial foregoing, I need the regular machine case. And yeah, that's the advanced machine casing. And I need quite a lot of them. So I'm going to have to keep making more of these. But 4 should be enough to go off of for when I eventually get into industrial foregoing. So I think that's going to be enough IC2 for now. I've done just about all I need for the immediate future. I'm not sure how much more I need to do when I get much later on, but I think the rest of these quests are just for if I want to do more IC2, and I don't really care about IC2. I want to start getting into NuclearCraft so I can start getting the small smingets so I can finish my power generation. As I keep going, there's just more and more stuff that opens up that I need to do. Eventually I'm going to have to do forestry, because eventually I'm going to have to do actually additions, and that leads into quite a lot of things. But for right now, I can move on with NuclearCraft and industrial foregoing, and that should be able to solve the small smingets. I'm not exactly sure where to go beyond that, but I can figure that out when I get to it. For now, NuclearCraft and industrial foregoing are the next 2 goals, because then I can automate the farm and make small spingots for power. I think before I go, I've noticed I've got some unclaimed quests, so I've got a few loot boxes to open. They weren't great though, but then I think I'm going to leave this here. I'm reasonably satisfied with this progress. We've expanded the industry building, and we've completed everything necessary in IC2 to unlock the next 2 significant techs. That was all I had planned, and that's taken me to about the end of my recording time today. Oh, I've got 2 more loot chests. Ice cream and sponge, sure. But yeah, this is all I had planned. This is all I needed to do. So I think I'm going to call this video here. Bye.